So yes, even for a serious medical reason, you couldn't get an abortion in my state after 14 weeks and 6 days. And as I've mentioned in a lot of my videos, most people don't find out there's a serious medical condition until after the anatomy scan, which most insurances only pay for at 20 plus weeks. 18 to 22 weeks is usually when that happens. The only time you're really finding out about this kind of stuff is things that are picked up on the NIPT, and a lot of people can't afford to do the NIPT, it's not covered, and they choose not to. That's what's making this whole thing like wild and absurd. It's having huge implications in other states. You know, right now, I feel lucky that it's at 14 weeks and 6 days. That will change soon, likely. I'm in Florida. There was a law passed, I think in December, and it's on the Supreme Court. We're waiting to hear back what the Supreme Court says. Many people think that Supreme Court will side with DeSantis and will say, yes, the 6-week abortion ban is legal and constitutional. We're seeing what the implications of 6-week abortion bans or even outright abortion bans are doing to people. Well, first off, from my experience, I had to fly to Massachusetts, which is not cheap. I had to fight with my insurance. They originally said I would be on the hook for $2,000, and then suddenly I have a $12,000 bill, and they're telling me no. That's a whole video actually on my page about what happened. And after a lot of back and forth and fighting and threatening to call a lawyer, they're like, okay, we're gonna pay for it because I do have it in writing that we're gonna pay for it. So $2,000, right? That's wild. Who can afford that? What normal person can afford that? And it wasn't like, this was a medical condition, this was whatever. That's its whole thing. But we're also seeing, women who are pregnant, there's no fetal pole, and then they need a D&C because there's products of conception that are in the uterus and it needs to come out, because if it doesn't, people are going to go into sepsis and other things, and doctors are like, yeah, you're actually going to have to go into sepsis and then you can come back, so you're going to have to get really, really ill, almost die, come back here, and then we'll treat you. That's insane. That's why does our life have to be in actual danger for us to get the care that we need? The same thing with ectopic pregnancies. I had an ectopic pregnancy. I cannot begin to tell you how insanely painful it was. And to imagine that happened to me again, and a doctor turned me away until I'm actually losing my fallopian tube. It's insanity. So part of why I'm doing this, abortion is healthcare. There are lots of situations in which we need to get the care that we need. Also the situation out of, I believe, Texas, where a woman was pregnant with a fetus that had encephaly. There was no brain. And they made her deliver that baby. What? What kind of monster makes someone do that? I don't think it's any different than if a state said, if your child, if your fetus, if your baby is sick in any way, you must terminate, right? That's a monster, that's a vile law that we would all be like, oh, you can't take away, you can't tell me what I do. You're doing the exact same thing by making someone bring a pregnancy to term that we know for a fact that pregnancy will not survive. It's disgusting. And I'm all fired up, as you can see.